Hey guys, I haven't done a video in a while and was pretty busy, so I thought I would run one right now. And hopefully this will make up for it because it has to do with strategies on how to, cope with your anxiety during, before, during, or after a social situation. So let's just skip all the intro stuff because I know you really want to hear it. So let's just dive right into it. The first part, the pre of the situation, there's really three things you can do. The first thing you can do is, lie in bed, get real comfortable, with yourself, uncross your arms, uncross your legs, and just pretty much just lie there and, breathe in and out. Breathe in, inhale through your nose, wait 5 seconds, and then exhale through your mouth, and just do that over and over again until you feel, a relaxed sensation throughout your body. Just in. There we go. And just do that over and over again. And now the second thing is I want you to use your imagination a little bit. Think of a place where you feel totally relaxed and comfortable with yourself. This could be walking through a forest or lying on a beach. It could be with just by yourself or with someone who's close to you. It could be whatever you want. The only thing I suggest you not doing is imagining yourself, closed in your house or somewhere where you like to hide, like your basement or your room. Don't do that. Make sure it's outside, uh, close to nature, hopefully. Um, and just something where, just an environment you feel safe and calm that's not closed in on the world, where you feel open. Um, so while in bed and breathing and imagining that safe place, think of every detail close that has to do related to that place. So let's say, for example, you're lying on the beach. Then what do you feel? Do you feel the sand in between your toes, or uh, your hands on a towel, or what do you hear? Do you hear the ocean on the sand, the tide? Do you hear the seagulls flying above? What do you smell? Do you smell like that freshwater scent? Um, or do you smell, uh, I don't know, hot dogs? Whatever you want. um, whatever makes you happy. And just add that little detail to, your imagery and your imagination, because that really helps relax you. What do you see, hear, feel? Um, throughout your five senses. And so that's two things you can do, and you can really mix those together to create a very relaxing, um, environment while lying down. Uh, Now, the last thing you can do is something different. Um, Say, for example, you have to pass a driving test, your G2 test, and you're really scared. And the reason why you're really scared is because you fear the unknown. You don't really know what's going to happen. Like, you hear about some questions that are going to be asked, but you're not totally sure, and you're just scared. You don't want to screw up. You don't want to, you don't want your anxiety to uh, take over you, and you don't want people to see your anxiety. So something you can do, which is extremely helpful, is do this an hour beforehand. Imagine the event from start to finish with every detail you can possibly imagine. So think of, on your way to driving to the test, think of, what you would think, what you're feeling, and just like the beach, think of every little detail. Every detail helps. Um, so you get to the test, you sign the form, you get in your car, your instructor comes. You can do this at a much slower pace. Do it as specific and as slowly as possible. And you're doing the test with your instructor. And here's the thing: I don't want you to imagine yourself being totally fine and talkative and joking around and being this totally other person, because that's not realistic. I want you to have actual realistic views of yourself. I want you to imagine yourself having anxiety, but I want you to also imagine yourself coping with the anxiety and handling yourself, because that's realistic. And you want to have realistic views, something you can actually do. And yeah, so imagine yourself getting a little sweaty, a little shaky, but breathing through it and comforting yourself and handling it. And do that from pretty much from start to finish. And always remind yourself of what you're thinking, what your coping thoughts are, what your anxious thoughts are, because this really helps. And imagine a realistic outcome as well. You passed your test, congrats. And if you didn't, then there's always next time. Failing your test is not the end of the world for the first time. Plenty of people have done it. So don't fear failure, because failure is usually better than success most of the times, because if you fail, then you learn, and when you succeed, then you pretty much don't learn anything, and it's always best to learn something new. So that's before a social situation. Now I'm going to talk about during. So let's say you're going out with friends to a bar, and you're really anxious about it. You're really scared that you'll say something stupid or out of character, or you fear of being judged all the time. So you're at the bar with people, you're at the bar with people, and you feel your anxiety taking over, and you feel like you can't help it. The best thing I would say to do is just excuse yourself and go to the washroom. That's a place where you can be alone with yourself, with your thoughts, with your coping thoughts, and you can just calm yourself down. What I like to do is splash water on my face and on the back of my neck and even my stomach a little, just to cool myself down. Especially if you're feeling a bit flushed. And, do the breathing maneuver, breathe in through your nose, wait 5 seconds, and then breathe out through your mouth. And just do that all the time, because that really relaxes your body. Another thing you can do, a trick that doesn't necessarily work with me too well, but I've heard it a few times, is tighten your muscles. A lot of people do this before sport games, I hear. So, if your hands are shaky, then, squeeze them as hard as you can, tighten them up, and just keep them tense for about 30 seconds. And, once the 30 seconds are up, you can release them, and you'll feel a certain, calmness and steadiness to them afterwards, because you released all that, anger and all that tense feeling in your hand. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing that I suggest you can do while in the washroom calming yourself down. This is going to be a little weird, but I think it's kind of helpful. Is I like to think of my anxiety as sort of a part of me, and you can't really fight a part of you, because the other part would just fight back even harder. So what a lot of people like to do is, embrace your anxious thoughts. It is a part of you. Don't fight it, and pretty much embrace it. And that doesn't mean let it take over. It's far from it. Just accept the fact that it's a part of you, and move on. And you can also imagine your anxiety, lowering with the non-violent image. So I read a booklet, and what a person likes to do is imagine your anxious thoughts are in a paper, and so you fold the paper up into a paper plane, and you toss it away through the wind, and it calmly soars away. So that's one thing you can do. What I like to do, which is kind of weird, but whatever, is I like to think of my anxious thoughts, in my head as a sort of darkness, as a sort of dark fogginess that's a part of me. And I like to think that every time I breathe in and out, it lowers and lowers and lowers, and and every time I take a deep breath, it lowers through my body and my arms and my legs, through my legs to my feet, and it goes away. It enters into the earth, and and it's just me in the end, and I've beaten it. But that's something I like to do. You can pretty much be creative and think of anything you want to do. So that's the last thing you can do during. Now, this is after your social situation. This is very important. You should always do this after taking on a big emotional step in your anxiety, and that is to always reward yourself. After going through a lot emotionally and even physically, you have to give your body and mind some pleasure, and that could be eating your favorite food, or going somewhere that you love being in, or it could be whatever it is. Just always remember to reward yourself, and tell yourself that you did a good job, because you really did if you successfully overcame your fears. So and even if you didn't, then there's always next time. It's never the end of the world if you think that you failed. Like I said, there shouldn't even be a word for failing. Failing shouldn't even exist, because it's failure is such a negative term. There's really no negatives in failing. There's always just learning, and learning through experience and overcoming it. So if you went through with it, then you should pretty much reward yourself in the end, is what I'm getting through. Now, the last thing you should do, which I talked a lot about in my last video, is just write down what happened. Write your coping and your anxious thoughts throughout the social event, and just write down pretty much the outcome of it. And if you want more description on that, you can check out my other video, my second video, which I talked the whole video about. So yeah, that's my video for today. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you use these strategies, and I hope it really helps you, because it really helped me, and I still use them today. So bye.